Oh.
At some point, everybody needs an affordable optic. Maybe you spent way too much money on your new gun and the money left over for the optic is a little tight. Maybe it's not your primary weapon, but you'd still like an optic on it, or maybe it's just your first red dot ever and you want a red dot that won't lead you to financial devastation, divorce, and having your house foreclosed on. Whatever your reason, at some point you'll need an affordable optic. And basically, as I see it, I only want three things out of that optic. I want it to perform well, I want good, reasonable battery life, and I want to know that it's tough enough to avoid the occasional bump, mishap, or splash of water. We're going to go back and do something we used to do fairly often on the channel, review and torture test an affordable budget type optic and see how it fares. On the chopping block today, we have the Northtac Ronin P11 red dot sight. This little sight has a lot of features that I really like, along with a price tag of less than $100, so it'll be very interesting to see how it does. The P11 is in Northtac's Ronin series, which is a series of affordable red dot sights that all have appealing features. Some things that I like are the P11 boasts a very aim point-like 50,000 hour battery life. It also has an auto shutoff feature with shake awake. What that means is the optic automatically turns itself off after 4 hours and will come back on automatically too when you pick your rifle up. This will extend the battery life even further into the multiple years category, and should there be a bump in the night, the Ronin P11 will automatically turn itself on so you won't be fumbling around in the dark looking for the power button. The P11 also features a very crisp 2 MOA dot. I actually do suffer from astigmatism, and sometimes that can be an issue for me with some of the cheaper red dot sights, but the Ronin looked very nice and crisp to me. So far, this little dot is checking off a lot of the right boxes at a very reasonable price. The first little test I do is basically just pour some water over the Northtac P11. And in theory, this is to simulate getting a little wet like in a rainstorm or something along those lines. Northtac does advertise it as water resistant, so we shall see about that. Not really surprised, but the P11 is still on and looking great after the splash tests, so we'll up the game a little bit. Like I said earlier, I need to know that whatever red dot or optic I'm using can perform. After all, if the red dot won't allow you to accurately hit targets, there's really no need to have it on the rifle. So I teamed the P11 up with a Northtac 3-time magnifier and wanted to see how we could do stretching it out on the Sig Spear LT a little. Everyone present was able to get successful hits at 525 yards using this combo, and to me, only having a 3-times magnifier paired with a red dot, this is a pretty decent shot. And of course, Tony did it without the magnifier. So in my book, that tells me that this optic setup will perform when I need it to, and is a red dot capable of extreme accuracy. Next up on our little torture test is submersion. The P11 did fine with the splash test, but now we will see if being completely submerged will allow any water to get inside to the electronics, causing the sight to fail. As you can see, the sight is still on, so that is a very good sign. Now you might be asking yourself, exactly how long are we going to leave it submerged? Well, at least long enough for the water to freeze. Straight to the freezer with the Northtac P11. The controls for the Northtac P11 are simple and intuitive. The turrets are capped, and the design of the sight gives a natural hood to protect them. The caps actually double as a flathead to make the adjustments with, and the adjustments are tactile and audible. The Northtac also features half MOA adjustments, and the brightness can be adjusted with these plus and minus buttons. I also think that it is nice that you can see the windage and elevation directions from behind the gun, so you can stay focused on the sight while making adjustments. I let the P11 freeze overnight, and in the morning it was of course a complete block of ice. When I looked into the ice, I could just barely see that it would appear that the dot is still on, which is a very good sign. freezing tests a few things. First of all, it gives the sight a radical temperature change that can sometimes be hard on electronics. It also adds a little pressure to all the waterproof gaskets, and that can sometimes cause those to fail. Now to take this to the range and see if it has held zero through all this. Just got back from letting the Northtac thaw out. We've already done a splash test, submersion test, and a freezing test. And we're going to check to make sure that it's still holding zero on top of the 6-spear light. I'd say it's still good. Let's do a little bit more to it. I always appreciate good packaging when it is there, and I have to say that I'm very impressed with the packaging of the Northtac P11. It comes in this hard case very similar to an SKB case. Inside, you'll of course find the red dot itself, instructions, a warranty card, because it is important to note that Northtac does feature a no-hassle lifetime warranty, lens, cloth, and a kill flash, in case you plan on taking your P11 on some counter sniper missions. All kidding aside, it is very impressive what all comes with the Northtac P11 at a price point that is less than $100. Impact testing is a two-part test. First, I take the dot off the gun and throw it into the air about 15 feet, allowing it to hit the ground, and I'll do this about 10 times. That is immediately followed by attaching it to a rifle and dropping it directly on the sight on a hard surface like this 2x4. Now normally I only do this once, but the first two weren't a direct hit on the P11, so this dot ended up taking 3 drops. I also generally bring a cheaper AR to do this with, but I forgot, so Noveski it is. All of this is of course meant to simulate the dot taking a hard bump and seeing if it would still work, but in reality your red dot will probably never take a hit anywhere near as hard as what this P11 has just been through.
I've just finished the extensive drop test on the Northtac, and now we're going to see if it maintains zero. I'd say it's still on.
Now I do want to let you know that you need to pay attention which red dot in the Ronin lineup you're getting, as they have different mounting options. For instance, this P11 is basically a co-witness height, and the riser and mount are built into the sight so that it cannot be changed. Now this works great for me in my application, and it may work great for you as well. They do have other models that are low mount only and one that can do multiple mounting heights, so just make sure you know what you're getting if you decide to order one. Now it is time for the shotgun test. I know that some people think we'll see if it can hold up to operating under the recoil of a shotgun, but actually we're just going to shoot it with a shotgun. 12 gauge, 8 shot. There really is no real-world situation that relates to this test, but it can be entertaining. Glass broke. Glass broke, but the emitter is still working. I'd say that is pretty good.
See if shake that glass out of there. Yeah, we'll see if it's zero. Why not?
Wow, so the shotgun blast did take out the rear glass of the P11, and you will have that happen when you're shooting optics with shotguns. But amazingly, the emitter is still working, and since the front glass is intact, there is a dot. Let's see if this thing is still zeroed.
So we just shot the Northtac P-11 with the shotgun. We did break the back glass. The emitter is still working and the front glass is intact. I still have a dot. I'm gonna see if it's zeroed. So there you go. Even without the back glass, still zeroed, still working.
The Northtac Ronin P-11 has so far exceeded my expectations. I can't believe the abuse that it has stood up to, and even with the rear glass gone, the dot still worked and held zero. That, along with the accuracy and precision we got out of this and the features right out of the box, this is an amazing red dot for the price, and I would highly recommend it if you are in the market for an affordable red dot sight. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and a huge thank you goes out to Callaway Ballistics for providing all the ammo that we shot in this video. Be sure to check the link in the description for some deals and some other cool finds that I've found. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. As always, we have some really big reviews in the works that you won't want to miss. If you want to know what those reviews are way before they hit the YouTube channel, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where you can get a real-time look at what's being reviewed. If you like what you see here on the channel, you want to help support Alabama Arsenal, the best possible way to do that is through Patreon. Every little bit helps and is greatly appreciated. There is also Alabama Arsenal gear available below in the description. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.